Hey guys, so in today's video, this is actually the final video in my testimonial playlist. So it's kind of a relief, but kind of sad at the same time. You know, my testimonial was in large part the inspiration for why I wanted to start this channel. So to be ending this testimonial series is kind of a satisfying and sad feeling at the same time. But in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I feel to be the last experience that I had in my journey to trying to make sense out of religion. Stay tuned. So as I've described to you guys in the last 15 videos, you know, I went through a variety of different experiences in a personal quest to make sense out of religion. Ever since my grandmother told me about her experience when I was a child, I've been trying to make sense out of religion ever since. And I did a lot of research, but I was never satisfied to teach and to instruct anyone else until I had had an experience of my own. You see, in religion today, there are so many people out there spreading ideas, and there's no way of knowing, absolutely knowing, that someone is telling you the truth without going out and putting it to the test for yourself. This is one of the reasons why science is so popular, is because science is true no matter where you go and no matter who you learn it from. It's a universal truth. And religion today is filled with so many people who have nothing other than an opinion. And I felt as a child that there was no reason why religion could not be observation-based, the same as science. And I still believe that to this day. There's no reason why we can't have experiences, direct, first-hand experiences to prop up and support our religious ideas. So in the video immediately before this one, I described for you guys my experience on LSD and the near-death experience that I had. And for me, this really represented the culmination of 10 years of hard work and research. But at the same time, I don't feel as though I can take credit for that experience because so much of it was out of my hands. And I'm just grateful to the Spirit of God that led me through those experiences and brought me to where I am today. And I really believe that these experiences serve not just as, you know, a fascinating series of events, but they serve as an example for any one of you who might be watching to say, this is where you can go to learn the truth about religion, to observe religion. Altered states of consciousness and dreams are really the laboratory of religious ideas and religious thinking. And if we learn to see our hypothesis, our theory, applied in the laboratory of the mind, then we can begin to approach religion much more logically and much more intelligently than we have been up till now. But in this video, I want to share with you guys the experience that I had immediately following my near-death experience and my vision of the white light and all of this. So a few days had went by, and you know, I was just trying to kind of assimilate and make sense out of what I'd been through, and I think it might have been only, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 days, something like that. But I laid down and I went to bed one night, and I found myself in a dream, and this dream was really unusual because I remember, you know, coming to in the dream, and it was almost like I was immediately lucid. I remember just coming into this dream and being totally consciously aware of what was going on. It's one of the most vivid and fascinating experiences I've ever had in a dream. And all that happened was I looked over and there were some pine trees off to the left, and there was this older man. He looked like he was middle-aged, and he looked at me and he said, "You've always wanted to see this, right?" And I went, "Always wanted to see what?" And he gestured up to the sky, and it was then that I noticed that the sun was kind of sitting on the horizon. And the sun was there, and just in front of it was the moon, slowly moving over the disk of the sun. And in the dream, I said, "Oh my God, it's a solar eclipse. I've always wanted to see one of these," right? And he laughed in the dream. The other fellow, he laughed at me because, you know, he just finished saying, "You've always wanted to see one of these," right? So the moon slowly made its way over, and it eclipsed and covered up the sun. And then as soon as the moon blocked out the light of the sun, suddenly these rays of light stretched out from behind the moon. And as they stretched out, they continued, and the corona of the sun just kept going and going and going until all these crisscrossing lines formed these geometric patterns that filled the sky. And I remember looking at this and seeing the lines stretch out into the sky all around me. And I looked at this and I went, am I tripping balls right now? That's what I said to the guy in the dream, right? Because I couldn't believe it. I was like, what is this, right? I was so lucid. It was like it happened to me if I were awake. And I'm just standing there in awe of this vision and seeing this black disc of the solar eclipse and this pattern is just going around me like this in these lines. And, you know, I've often thought, you know, maybe in movies, I tried to think, you know, what I could compare it to. And the patterns in those lines, they moved like, if you've ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, when he goes through that, you know, that tunnel kind of experience and you see the lines, you know, going all across one another to form different symmetries and everything, you know, that was really what it was like. And I stood in awe of this, and then I woke up, and it was the end. It was the end of the dream. Immediately, I decided I needed to paint this. You know, I do a lot of artwork, so it was like instantaneous. And I went and I got the biggest canvas that I could find, and I just went straight to work capturing this. And in fact, that dream, that symbol, is the logo for this channel. And so that experience for me was really fascinating, because afterward, I kind of stopped, and I had to ask myself, what was the purpose of that dream? You see, up until that point, every dream that I had seemed to be pushing my soul towards maturity. It was addressing something that, you know, some demon that I hadn't, you know, dealt with, or some inner turmoil, or maybe some desires that I was wrestling with. Every dream that I had was trying to reach a goal, trying to help me in my spiritual journey. But this dream served no purpose at all. It was as if it was just a reward. I felt as though after everything I'd been through and all the ordeals that I'd suffered through, this was almost like God saying, good job, you know, you made it. And, you know, when I was a kid, I prayed with all of my heart that God would do a great work in my life. And I really felt in that moment, after having had that dream, that I had allowed this great work to be done in my life, that I had allowed something to be done through me. And I still, to this day, I really hesitate to take credit for any of this, because it really, you know, definitely my work in terms of my intellect and making sense out of it all played a really important role, but I really can't claim to be the author of the experiences that I had. Many of the experiences I had completely blindsided me. So ultimately, the real value of my experiences comes from something other than myself. It's something greater than myself, a cosmic consciousness, God, whatever you want to think of it as. But I feel that is in fact the case. And so this channel is dedicated to me sharing what I've learned and what I've accomplished and what I've seen. And by no means do I want to give you guys the impression like I'm some kind of a saint or a mystic. You know, I suffer from all the same flaws and frailties as anybody else. And, you know, definitely after the experiences that I had, I do feel very satisfied in my understanding of religion. And what's more is my views on religion are not just ideas that I invented or read out of a book. They're ideas that I've put to the test, and I've been able to observe them for myself through altered states of consciousness and dreams. And so that's really what this channel is dedicated to, is trying to bring forth into the world a new way of approaching religion, to approach religion with an attitude of skepticism and a healthy degree of doubt, but at the same time enough open-mindedness to actually go into these religious methods so as to have an experience for yourself. And so this, like I said, finishes my testimonial series, and I really hope that you guys have enjoyed some of the content that I've shared here. And if you haven't seen any of the other videos, if this is just your first video in the series, I recommend going to my channel and checking out the playlist, and you'll find there the testimonial series, and I recommend, you know, going through there and having a look. So I just ask you guys to please like, subscribe, and share, and as always, thanks for watching.